If you're saving in Naira today, you are losing money every day. With inflation hitting 15.1% early this year, your savings are essentially melting. One of my favorite YouTubers, Humphrey Yang, says, inflation is the silent tax. But we know that in Nigeria, there's nothing silent about inflation, it is screaming. Right now, the exchange rate is hovering around 1,385 to a dollar at the official window and even higher in the black market. So if you want to build real wealth today, you have to stop thinking in Naira and start thinking in global assets. So today in this video, I'm going to be showing you the anti-Naira strategy, which is more of focusing on the S&P 500 as a strategy. Now, when it comes to building wealth using stocks, one of my favorite go-to is the S&P 500 because it has a long history of working. Now, what is S&P 500? This is basically a pool of 500 different top companies in the world. Historically, these companies being in this pool has returned 10% year on, year out. But will it surprise you when I tell you that this is double for Nigerians? So instead of getting the 10%, which is the general, value that we know S&P 500 to return yearly, in Nigeria, it can be considered double because of the Naira inflation taken into account. When you invest in this S&P 500, you find that you are getting double the value that the average person gets because, we are considering the fact that these stocks or investing in this pool of stocks brings back 10% per annum. That is you now hedging your money against inflation in two folds because you are getting the percentage from the S&P 500 growing 10%, and then you are hedging your money against inflation because you've invested in dollars. Imagine that double hedge against inflation. That is why investing in S&P 500 is a good strategy when thinking about investing in global assets and growing your money. Now that we know what S&P 500 is and how it can help us to double our investment or growth financially, how do you now start investing, especially if you're in Lagos or you basically live anywhere in Nigeria and you want to start with as little as you have? To be able to achieve this, you don't need to have a US social security number, obviously, because we are in Nigeria, but then you can use platforms like Risevest, Bamboo, Carrywise to buy into American stocks. But my preference is Bamboo because of the range of stocks they have there, both ETFs, both individual stocks, and how easy the platform is to use. But this is just to tell you the one I'm using. You can choose whichever platform that works best for you, but the main thing here is that you can start investing with as little as $1 to $10. That is as easy as that. So you don't need so much money. Aside from not being in the US, you being in Nigeria, you can just convert your maybe let's say 5,000 Naira to dollars and you're good to go to start investing. Like, how good is that? Now you might be wondering, like, how are you able to invest with as low as $1? Because obviously, like, just imagine Apple now. With the amount that one share is costing for, you know that there's no way we that are trying to grow our wealth from scratch can be able to afford that, on a go. So there's this thing called fractional shares where you can buy as low as 0.0001% of a particular stock. So let's say this stock is $600 currently trading in the market, whichever stock that is. I'm not talking about any particular one now, but let's say Apple, let's say $600 per share of this particular stock. So if you are buying $1 for a share that is currently trading at $600, you're basically buying 0.167% of this stock. So that is what is considered as fractional shares. It is a matter of being consistent with it, doing it little by little as much as you can afford. But the main idea is putting out money and investing in a dollar-denominated investment and in a global asset at that, and one that promises to return nothing less than 10% per annum. To even go further, it is so interesting that you can also get dividends from just having $1 in these big shares. So it's just that you're going to be getting a dividend that is proportional to the percentage you have. Let's say you have $1, you invested $1 in this $600 worth company, you're going to be getting $1 worth of that dividend. But the good part is that at least you're getting dividend. It's not like because you bought just fractional shares, you are now exempted from getting dividend. And from building up your dividend, obviously you can reinvest it into this stock as well, or even any other stock of your choice, because you are obviously credited directly into your account. For dollar-denominated investments, especially like on Bamboo, your dividend is paid directly back into your account, which when you build it up again, you can then reinvest it to start continue with your journey of investing. Like I said, all that matters is consistency and doing it to the point that you can even be able to achieve one share of that company, which is, let's say, $600. So now that we've talked about how to start investing in fractional shares, let's break down some of the platforms that Nigerians can use to start building their wealth, investing in these fractional shares in this big company, S&P 500. And my very best one for me, which I currently use, is Bamboo, because it has a range of ETFs, even individual stocks, and the fact that you can go on the platform and see what stocks Warren Buffett is investing in, what stocks Faust is investing in, what stocks the big people that that are good in investing or that are built wealth over time through investments on stocks are investing in. So you get to if you don't know anything about stocks, you can choose from these stocks that these people are investing in, or maybe you just want to play it safe and invest in only S&P 500, which is the strategy we are focusing on. Then you can choose any other one like VOO. All these are all index funds that have proven to get good returns over the years. They've been doing well. That is for Bamboo because the platform has this wide range of stocks that you can invest in. They recently started this introduction where you can have a managed portfolio. So it is called managed portfolio on the Bamboo platform. So all you basically need to do is to put your money in this place, but the least you can put or you can start investing with in this managed portfolio is $100, because they are professional investors who are behind the scenes that does the heavy lifting for you. For the time I've invested in that, because I decided to try it out for myself and invested $100, I noticed that over a short period of time, I started this thing like end of December, and up until now I've gained at least like $10 on top of my $100. This is not magic. It is not something that overnight you just get your $100 back, maybe making it $200. It is something that with consistency and with these companies that are being invested in having good profit over years, you are going to get good returns. All that matters is that your money is safe. So these are some options you can do on Bamboo. Now let's talk about Risevest, which is another option which Nigerians can use to start investing. Risevest also has this managed portfolio option on their platform. It does the heavy lifting for you. So aside from you picking individual stocks, you can also use this managed portfolio to grow your money if you don't really know so much about stocks. That is the good part about managed portfolio, because they are experts that have been doing investing over years, that are behind the scenes doing the heavy lifting for you. Now the third option is Trove. Trove is another Nigerian stock platform that you can buy stocks from. Not only American stocks, you can also buy Nigerian stocks from this platform, and as the same thing with Bamboo as well. You can also buy Nigerian stocks from Bamboo. So these are the three options that you can use amongst many others, but I just decided to focus these three because they are the most popular ones that most Nigerians use. But I believe the most popular one of them all is Bamboo, if I'm not mistaken, because everybody I talk to, they always talk about Bamboo. So you just choose where you feel more comfortable. Do more research on this before choosing the platform to start investing, because your money is supposed to be secure and you don't want to hear stories about anything happening to your money. Just like I referenced Humphrey Yang in the beginning of this video, there's something else he also says: time in the market beats time in the market. So one good way for you to start investing, if you're new to investing and maybe you're always procrastinating investing, is to automate your money to these platforms. So instead of you waiting for your dollar to come down before you start investing, you can decide to start putting out 20,000 naira, 50,000 naira monthly, and then transfer it directly to these platforms. Even though you are not investing immediately, build up that money and then use it to invest. But all that matters is that you are already taking advantage of this automated system of saving, rather than waiting for that time when the dollar is at its best value, of which knowing Nigeria, there's really no perfect time for dollar to be at the best value. If it's any consolation in all these things we've said, just know that wealth isn't how much you make, but in what currency you keep it in, because you have to avoid devaluation of your savings, your investment in your journey to building wealth. So to avoid being a victim of exchange rates, start investing in dollar-denominated investment. This does not mean that you don't keep some of your money in Naira, because obviously you need your emergency fund to be kept in Naira. But then when you are thinking of long-term investments and savings, it is wise to put a portion of your money in dollar savings, because then you're able to hedge your money against inflation, or at least reduce the rate at which inflation is eating away your money. Let me hear from you in the comments. Which app are you using to hedge your money against inflation? Maybe out of these 3 I've mentioned, you know other ones that are very reliable. Let us know in the comments, because we are all trying to learn here and we're all trying to build our money. So I'll see you guys in my next one. If you really did enjoy this video, make sure to click that like button, subscribe to the channel, and join this family for everything finance that is going to help you build wealth on a long term without having any burnout. See you guys in my next one. Bye bye.